All right, hi again. Welcome back, everybody. Attorney Steve here, giving you a First Amendment news flash. Okay, news flash of the day. All right, so on March 21st, I am on the whitehouse.gov website. I wanted to give you this free speech, new term I've never heard, free inquiry update, okay? So this is an executive order. Now, if you don't know what an executive order is, it's the power of the president to basically set various policies without having to go through Congress. Every president has the right. Every president has done them. Many of them. It's something everybody does. So here's March 21st, 2019. So this is pretty recent. And we have an update on, this involves the issue of a college campus debate. And many people say, oh, they're only teaching, one side. It's all liberal arts, liberal studies, and there's no conservative points of view. That's the argument. And I don't go into politics on my side. Anybody that watches me knows. So my interest here is in the First Amendment and this new term that I haven't seen before, free inquiry. And I guess that means like the ability to ask a question. I'm not quite sure, but it's about free inquiry, transparency, and accountability at colleges and universities. Now, part of this rule has to do with student loans and telling people how much you're going to make depending on what you're studying, but I'm not going to get into that. And it's more transparency about if you take a sociology degree, you may not end up making $500,000 of a year. More accountability about the numbers. But this one is, I'm interested in the free inquiry part, being a free speech person who enjoys free speech law, constitutional law. Okay, Section 1, purpose. The purpose of this order is to enhance the quality of post-secondary education, that's colleges and universities, by making it more affordable, more transparent, and more accountable. Institutions of higher education, institutions should be accountable both for student outcomes and for student life on campus, okay? In particular, my administration seeks to promote free speech and open debate on college and university campuses. Free inquiry is an essential feature of our nation's democracy, and it promotes learning, scientific discovery, and economic prosperity. We must encourage institutions to appropriately account for this bedrock principle in their administration of student life and to avoid creating environments that stifle competing perspectives. So they want more diversity of thought, diversity of debate is what I'm seeing here, thereby potentially impeding beneficial research and undermining learning, okay? This goes into some of the financial stuff that I'm not going to talk about. You can read that if you want. But I want to get on to the, here we go, the policy. Here's the policy. It is the policy of the federal government to encourage institutions to foster environments that promote open, intellectually engaging, and diverse debate, including through compliance with the First Amendment. Public institutions, what happens is public institutions take research money in, grant money, and so they become what's called state actors, so they have to comply with the Constitution, for those of you who don't know. Private companies can pretty much do what they want within certain limits, but public institutions must honor, the First Amendment, free speech, those kinds of things. But here it is. It's the policy of the federal government to encourage open, intellectually engaging, and diverse debate, including compliance with the First Amendment. That's something they've always had to do for public institutions, and compliance with stated institutional policies regarding freedom of speech for private institutions. So I'm not sure I heard anything totally new there, other than institutions need to follow First Amendment. Okay, so let's go on further. What else do we have? There's stuff about student loans, but here we go. Section 3. Here's what it is. So what are we doing here? To advance the policy described in subsection 2A of this order, the heads of covered agency, that's these guys down here, the heads of covered agencies shall, that means it's something they have to do, in coordination with the director of the Office of Management and Budget, OMB as we call it, they must take appropriate steps in a manner consistent with applicable law, including the First Amendment, to ensure that institutions that receive federal research and educational grants promote free inquiry, including through compliance with all applicable federal laws, regulations, and policies. Okay, so what I'm seeing here is a little bit vague. I'm not sure if I was an agency, I would know what I need to do here. but it says I would need to take appropriate steps in a manner consistent with law. So appropriate steps to ensure that institutions that receive federal grants, to ensure that they promote free inquiry. That's what I'm seeing. So I'm not sure how you promote free inquiry. Maybe you prepare a policy pamphlet. Maybe you put something in the student manuals. Maybe something as part of the college or university policies. I'm not sure, but it looks like there has to be something that's done to promote free inquiry. So I think there's a lot of questions about that. Here's your covered agencies. I don't know who's going to do what, but for the purpose of this section, the Departments of Defense, Department of Interior, Agriculture, Department of Commerce, Department of Labor, Health and Human Services, Department of Transportation, Department of Energy, Department of Education, and the EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, the National Science Foundation, and the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. So I guess that's NASA. I guess NASA has to do something to make sure. I'm like kind of confused on this. So if you have any notes, some thoughts, comments, you want to shed some light on this, I'm a free speech advocate. I love watching these. I totally believe there should be free, open debate on college campuses. So we will see what this leads to. And it's something somebody told me a long time ago is, when two people argue, there's nothing wrong with having two people argue. And you want to encourage that, because when you see two people argue, the truth tends to emerge on one side or the other. And this is in fact what judges do when two attorneys come to the court. They are weighing the arguments, and something seems to sound a little more compelling or persuasive than the other argument. And sometimes that's how we find the truth in things, or what may be a better solution. So open, free inquiry, we'll find out what that means. I'll keep you posted when I hear something new. Yeah, but that's a new executive order, March 21st, 2019. If you need more information, need help with free speech issues, slap motions, those kinds of things, someone trying to stifle your free speech or stifle your free speech on campus, give us a ring. You can find us on the web at attorneysteve.com. That's attorneysteve.com, the first name in legal services. I got to run, got lots to do. Hope you enjoyed the video.